Entitled Karen demands a VIP table at my restaurant, claiming to be a close friend of the owner, so I decided to play along. But what she didn't know was that I am the owner. Last Saturday night, this woman storms into my restaurant with 5 friends, completely bypassing our host stand. She's wearing designer everything and has this entitled smirk that immediately puts me on edge. "I need the VIP section," she announces loudly enough for half the dining room to hear. "The owner's my college roommate. Tell him Jessica Williams is here. He always keeps table 7 open for me." I'm standing right there in my server apron, having just finished helping bus tables during our Saturday rush. I've owned this place for 3 years and have never seen this woman in my life, but something about her smugness made me genuinely curious about how far she'd take this lie. "Let me check with management," I tell her, suppressing a grin. While she waits, Jessica starts telling her friends how she practically designed the menu and helped me get this place off the ground. Pure fiction, but her friends are eating it up, taking selfies, and posting about their VIP treatment. I decide to seat them at table 7, our actual premium table with no listed prices, reserved for celebrity guests and special occasions. The menus I give them are our exclusive tasting collection, featuring items like Wagyu beef, imported lobster, and bottles of wine that cost more than most people's rent. "Oh my God, he gave us the good menus," Jessica squeals to her friends. "See, I told you we were tight." While serving them, Jessica keeps making increasingly bold claims. She tells everyone how she helped me choose the restaurant's color scheme, how she introduced me to my celebrity clients, and how I always comp her meals because she's basically a business partner. The breaking point came when she snapped her fingers at me and said, "Waiter boy, this champagne isn't expensive enough for my friends. Bring us your most exclusive bottle. You know, the one you saved for me." That's when I brought out our $1,200 Dom Perignon, vintage 2008. Jessica didn't even blink, just waved her hand dismissively and told her friends, "He always brings me the good stuff." Throughout the evening, they ordered like money was no object. Appetizers of Osetra caviar, multiple bottles of premium wine, dry-aged steaks, and desserts paired with rare cognac. Jessica kept live streaming parts of the dinner, bragging to her social media followers about her exclusive access and VIP lifestyle. The most insulting moment came when one of her friends asked what I did besides serving tables. Jessica laughed and said, "Oh, honey, people like him never amount to anything. That's why successful people like us need to help them out with good tips." 2.5 hours later, they'd racked up a $4,800 bill. When I approached with the check, Jessica was in the middle of filming another video about how her restaurant was the hottest spot in the city. Her face went completely white when I placed the leather check presenter in front of her. She opened it, looked at the total, then looked again. This has to be wrong," she stammered, her confidence evaporating instantly. "There's no way this is right." Her friends crowded around, their jaws dropping as they saw the itemized list. $1,200 for champagne, $400 for wine, $200 per steak, $150 for caviar appetizers. "I don't understand," Jessica said, her voice shaking. "My friend always covers this. Where is he? Get the owner right now." "Actually," I said, slowly untying my server apron, "I am the owner, and we've never met." The entire table went dead silent. Jessica's phone was still propped up against the wine bottle, recording everything. Her 15,000 followers were watching this entire meltdown in real time. The comment section was exploding with people tagging her employer, her family, her other friends. One of her friends grabbed the phone and saw the comment count skyrocketing past 500. "Jessica, you're still live," she whispered. Jessica's eyes went wide as she realized thousands of people just watched her lie, insult me, and rack up a bill she couldn't pay. Then I noticed someone in the comments I recognized, and my stomach dropped. The username was @Premier PR Group, and the profile picture was the logo of one of the most prestigious PR firms in the city. But it wasn't just any account from the company. The comment that made my blood run cold said, "Is this what you meant by networking dinner on your expense report?" I watched Jessica's face as she read the same comment. All the color drained from her skin like someone had pulled a plug. Her hands started shaking so badly she nearly knocked over her water glass. "No," she whispered. "No, no, no, no." One of her friends leaned over. "What's wrong?" "That's my boss," Jessica said, her voice barely audible. "That's my actual boss watching this right now." The comment section was going absolutely insane at this point. I could see it from where I stood. People were screenshotting everything. Someone had already made a reaction video, and Jessica's follower count was climbing as more people tuned in to watch the disaster unfold in real time. Another comment appeared from the same account. "Jessica, my office, Monday morning, 8 a.m., sharp. Bring your expense reports from the last 6 months." "Oh God," Jessica said, and I swear I saw tears forming in her eyes. "Oh my God, I'm so screwed." "Look," one of her friends said, clearly trying to distance herself from the situation. "Maybe we should just, settle this and go." Jessica's hands were fumbling with her purse now, pulling out her wallet with trembling fingers. She opened it and I could see it was basically empty. A few credit cards, maybe $40 in cash. "I can promote your restaurant," she said suddenly, looking up at me with desperate eyes. "I have 15,000 followers. I'll post about this place every day for a month. I'll bring in so much business. You won't even need payment." I crossed my arms. "You mean the 15,000 people who just watched you lie about knowing me, insult me, and try to scam a free meal?" "I can delete the video," she said quickly. "Right now. I'll delete it and we can pretend this never happened. Please." "But you're not the only one who recorded tonight," I said calmly. I gestured to the small security camera in the corner that had a perfect view of table 7. "We record everything in the VIP section, for insurance purposes." One of her friends stood up abruptly. "I'm sorry, but I need to go." She pulled out a $100 bill and placed it on the table. "That should cover my portion of the appetizers at least. I'm really sorry about this." Another friend followed suit, then another. Within 2 minutes, 3 of her 5 friends had abandoned ship, leaving cash on the table and practically running for the exit. The 2 who remained looked incredibly uncomfortable, like they wanted to leave but felt too guilty. Jessica was staring at the cash on the table. She counted it quickly. The 3 friends had left about $300 combined. "I still need to pay almost $4,500, she said, and I could hear the panic rising in her voice. "I don't have that. I don't have anywhere near that." "Well," I said, keeping my tone professional, "we accept all major credit cards." She pulled out her wallet again and laid 3 credit cards on the table. "Try these," she said. "Please, just try all of them." I took them to the register and ran the first one. Declined. The second one. Declined. The third one went through for $800 before it maxed out. I walked back to the table. "You've got 800 charged?" I said. "That leaves 4,000. Jessica's remaining 2 friends exchanged glances. One of them, a woman in a red dress, cleared her throat. "Jessica, I love you, but I can't cover this. I'm sorry." She placed $200 on the table. "That's for my meal. I'm going to call an Uber." The last friend, a younger woman who looked barely old enough to drink, stayed seated but pulled out her phone, clearly texting someone, probably asking for a ride. Jessica was completely alone now. She buried her face in her hands. "What am I supposed to do?" she said, her voice muffled. "I don't have $4,000. I don't have anything." "Well," I said, "you're going to need to leave something as collateral while you figure it out." "Collateral?" She looked up at me. I gestured to her designer handbag, her watch, and the jewelry she was wearing. "Those should cover it until you can come back with payment." "You can't be serious," she said. "I'm very serious, and I'm being generous by not calling the police for theft of services." Her last friend stood up quietly. "I'm really sorry, Jessica, but I can't be involved in this." She didn't leave any money, just grabbed her coat and left. Jessica sat there for a long moment, staring at her designer items like she was saying goodbye to old friends. Then, slowly, she took off her watch, a Cartier that probably cost more than the entire bill. She placed her Hermes bag on the table, removed her diamond earrings, her necklace, and 2 rings. "I need to go find an ATM," she said quietly. "I'll be back in an hour." I scooped up the items and placed them in a secure box behind the bar. I also made sure her live stream was still going. It was. Over 2,000 people were watching now. Jessica walked out into the night, and I went back to work. The restaurant was buzzing with energy. Other diners had clearly witnessed parts of the drama and were whispering excitedly among themselves. About 90 minutes later, Jessica returned. Her makeup was smudged from crying and she looked utterly defeated. She walked up to me and handed me a stack of cash. $2,000, she said. "That's everything I could get from the ATM and from my savings account that I transferred to checking. It's literally every dollar I have access to right now." I counted it. "That brings your total payment to $3,000 with what your friends left and what was on your credit card. You still owe $2,800. "I know," she said, and a fresh tear rolled down her cheek. "I know I still owe you. Can I please just get my stuff back and I'll pay you the rest tomorrow?" "That's not how this works," I said. Jessica closed her eyes. "Then what do I have to do?" I thought about it for a moment. Then I looked at her expensive clothes, her designer shoes that probably cost $600. "You're going to work it off," I said. "What?" "You're going to work here. Washing dishes, bussing tables, whatever needs to be done. Minimum wage is $15 an hour. You owe me $2,800. That's about 187 hours of work. If you come in every Saturday and Sunday for 8-hour shifts, you'll have it paid off in about 12 weekends." "You can't be serious," she said again, but her voice had less conviction this time. "I'm very serious, and the live stream stays up as proof of our agreement." Jessica looked around the restaurant, at the other diners who were still watching, at the phone that was still recording her humiliation. She looked defeated. "Okay," she whispered. "Okay, I'll do it." "Good," I said. "You start next Saturday at 8 a.m. Wear comfortable shoes." "Can I at least have my jewelry back?" she asked. "The watch and the bag I understand, but the earrings were my grandmother's." I considered this. "Sure, but the watch, bag, and necklace stay until you've worked off the debt." She nodded and I retrieved the earrings for her. She put them on with shaking hands and then left without another word. The next Saturday, true to her word, Jessica showed up at 7:55 a.m. She was wearing jeans, a plain t-shirt, and sneakers. No makeup, hair in a simple ponytail. She looked like a completely different person from the woman who had strutted in a week ago. "You're early," I said. "Good. Follow me." I brought her to the kitchen and introduced her to Miguel, our head chef. "This is Jessica. She's going to be helping out with dishes and prep work." Miguel looked her up and down. "You ever worked in a kitchen before?" "No," Jessica said quietly. "Well," he said, not unkindly, "you're about to learn. Let's go." I watched her for the first hour. She was slow, clumsy, clearly out of her element. She kept flinching when the other kitchen staff shouted orders to each other. By hour 3, her hands were red from the hot water and harsh soap. By hour 6, she looked ready to collapse. But she kept going, and when her shift ended at 4 p.m., she didn't complain. She just asked what time she should come back tomorrow. "Same time," I told her. Sunday was worse for her. We had a brunch rush that was absolutely brutal, and Jessica was thrown into bussing tables. She had to clear dirty dishes, wipe down tables, reset them with fresh linens and silverware. I watched her struggle to carry heavy trays, watched her face turn red when she accidentally dropped a fork and it clattered loudly on the floor. But here's the thing. What I didn't expect was that some of her former friends showed up for brunch that second Sunday. 3 women who had clearly seen the viral video and wanted to witness Jessica's humiliation firsthand. They requested a table in her section specifically. "Oh my God, is that Jessica?" one of them said loudly as Jessica approached to clear their table. "Jessica Williams? Working as a busser?" Jessica's face turned bright red, but she kept her head down and just kept working. "I heard you got fired from Premier PR," another one said with fake sympathy. "That's so sad. I mean, the expense report fraud was pretty bad though." Jessica's hands were shaking as she stacked their dirty plates, but she didn't respond. "It must be so humiliating," the third woman added. "I mean, we all saw the video. Everyone saw it." I was about to step in when Jessica finally spoke. "Yes," she said quietly, still not looking at them. "It is humiliating, but I did this to myself, and now I'm fixing it. Excuse me." She walked away with the dirty dishes and I saw her duck into the kitchen. I followed and found her leaning against the wall, trying not to cry. "You okay?" I asked. "I'm fine," she said, but her voice cracked. "I just need a minute." "Take 5, I said. "Get some water." She nodded and grabbed a bottle from the staff fridge. "I'm sorry," she said suddenly. "For everything. For lying, for being rude, for all of it. I was awful and I deserve this." I didn't know what to say to that, so I just nodded. "Get back out there when you're ready." Over the next few weeks, something strange happened. Jessica actually became a decent worker. She learned quickly, stopped making rookie mistakes, and even started getting along with the other staff. Miguel told me she was the first prep cook in years who actually listened to his instructions the first time. But I noticed something else too. During her 4th Saturday shift, I caught her taking photos of documents in my office with her phone. She must have snuck in during her break when she thought no one was looking. I didn't confront her immediately. Instead, I checked the security footage from that day and confirmed what she'd been photographing. They were financial documents, supplier contracts, profit and loss statements. I wondered what she was planning to do with them. Then, a few days later, I got a call from my business partner, Anthony. "We need to talk," he said. "It's important." We met at a coffee shop the next morning. Anthony looked stressed. "I got a call from Consolidated Restaurant Group," he said. "They're interested in buying us out." "That's great," I said, though I was surprised. We'd never discussed selling. "Yeah, well, that's the thing. They're offering way less than market value. They said they heard we're having financial trouble and struggling to keep up with supplier payments." I frowned. "We're not having financial trouble. Where would they hear that?" "I don't know," Anthony said. "But apparently it's all over some industry forums. Someone's been spreading rumors about us." That's when it clicked. Jessica. She'd taken photos of our financial documents and was spreading misinformation to sabotage us. But why? I went back to the restaurant and pulled up the security footage from the past few weeks. I watched every minute of Jessica's time there, paying special attention to when she was alone or on her phone. Sure enough, I caught her multiple times texting rapidly, photographing documents, and even recording video of our delivery schedules and supplier interactions. I realized what she was doing. She was gathering information to either blackmail me into forgiving her debt or to damage the restaurant enough that I'd be forced to close and wouldn't be able to collect what she owed. Instead of confronting her, I decided to set a trap. I created fake documents about a fictional investor meeting scheduled for Thursday at noon at a hotel conference room downtown. I left them on my desk where Jessica would definitely see them during her Saturday shift. Sure enough, on Saturday morning, I watched on the security camera as Jessica snuck into my office during her break and photographed the fake documents. Thursday came and I showed up at the hotel conference room at 11:45. I'd rented it out myself. At noon, the door opened and Jessica walked in, wearing a business suit and carrying a leather portfolio. She froze when she saw me sitting there alone. "Looking for someone?" I asked. Her face went pale. I thought. You thought there was an investor meeting," I said. "You thought you could come here and sabotage it, maybe tell them some lies about my restaurant, convince them to back out or lower their offer." Jessica's mouth opened and closed, but no words came out. I pulled out my tablet and showed her the security footage of her photographing documents in my office, followed by screenshots of posts she'd made on industry forums using burner accounts, spreading lies about my restaurant's finances and supplier relationships. "I've been documenting everything you've done," I said calmly. "Every act of sabotage, every lie you've spread, every document you've stolen. I have it all." Jessica sat down heavily in one of the conference room chairs. "I didn't know what else to do," she said quietly. "I already lost my job. I've been living off credit cards for the past month. I'm probably going to lose my apartment. I thought if I could damage your restaurant enough, maybe you'd be too distracted to collect the debt, or maybe you'd go out of business and I'd be off the hook. Instead," I said, "you've just added industrial espionage and defamation to your list of problems." She put her head in her hands. "What do you want from me?" "I want you to fix this," I said. "You're going to publicly confess everything you've done on a new live stream. You're going to post corrections on every forum where you spread lies. And you're going to pay me the remaining debt right now. Not over time. Right now." "I don't have it," she said. "Figure it out," I told her. "Max out your credit cards. Borrow from family, I don't care. But you're going to pay me today, or I'm sending all of this evidence to the police and filing charges for theft, fraud, and corporate espionage." Jessica looked at me with genuine fear in her eyes. "I need a few hours," she said. "You have until 6 p.m., I said. "Meet me back at the restaurant with the money and we'll do the live stream." At 6 p.m., Jessica showed up at the restaurant with a bank envelope. She looked like she'd aged 10 years in the past few weeks. She handed me the envelope and I counted it. $2,800 exactly. "Where'd you get it?" I asked. "I maxed out 3 personal credit cards and borrowed $1,000 from my mom," she said quietly. I told her everything. She's so disappointed in me. "Good," I said. "Now let's get this live stream set up." I had her sit at table 7, the scene of her original crime. I set up professional lighting and a good camera because if we were doing this, we were doing it right. I started the live stream and within 5 minutes we had over 500 viewers. "Hi," Jessica said to the camera, her voice shaking. "Some of you might remember me from a video that went viral a few weeks ago. I'm here today to confess to everything I've done since then and to apologize." She went on to explain every lie she'd spread, every document she'd photographed, every act of sabotage she'd attempted. She named the specific forums where she'd posted misinformation and promised to post corrections immediately. The comments section was going crazy. People were eating up every second of it. When she finished, there were tears streaming down her face. "I've paid my debt in full," she said. "And I want to say I'm sorry to the owner of this restaurant, to his business partner, to everyone I lied to, and to all the suppliers I tried to manipulate. I was wrong and I accept whatever consequences come from this." I ended the live stream. The video had been viewed by over 3,000 people in real time. "Can I go now?" Jessica asked quietly. "Actually," I said, "there's someone here who wants to talk to you." Anthony walked out from the kitchen where he'd been watching the whole thing. Jessica looked confused until he spoke. "Hello, Jessica," he said. Her eyes went wide with recognition. "Oh my God, Anthony? You remember me," he said. "I'm flattered." I looked between them. "You two know each other?" Anthony nodded. "Jessica and I went to college together. We dated for 2 years. Until she cheated on me with 3 different guys at our graduation party and then posted about it on social media to humiliate me." Jessica's face went white. "Anthony, save it," he said. "I became a silent partner in this restaurant 2 years ago specifically because I believed in it. When I saw your viral video, I recognized you immediately. I called him," he gestured to me, "and told him to let you work off the debt. I wanted to see if you'd actually follow through or try to weasel your way out of it like you always did in college." "I tried to follow through," Jessica said. "I worked every shift. And then you tried to destroy what we built," Anthony said. "The irony is that there was no corporate buyer. I made that up. I planted the rumor through my own contacts to see how you'd react to having leverage. I wanted to see if you'd grown at all, or if you were still the same selfish person who'd humiliated me all those years ago." Jessica looked like she might be sick. "So it was all a test?" "It was all a test," Anthony confirmed. "And you failed, spectacularly. The good news is that you did eventually pay the debt. The bad news is that I'm charging you a collateral storage fee for keeping your designer items safe all these weeks, $400. Jessica's jaw dropped. "You're kidding. Do I look like I'm kidding?" Jessica opened her purse and pulled out what looked like her last credit card. She handed it to me, and I ran it for $400. It went through, barely. I handed her the box with her Hermes bag, Cartier watch, and remaining jewelry. "Now we're done," I said. Jessica grabbed the box and stood up. "I hope you both know I lost everything because of this. My job, my apartment, my reputation, my savings, everything. You lost it because of your own choices, Anthony said calmly. We just held up a mirror. Jessica left without another word. The next day, I checked her social media. Every account was deleted. Her Instagram, her Twitter, her Facebook, her TikTok, everything. It was like she'd vanished from the internet entirely. A few weeks later, I heard from a mutual acquaintance that she'd moved to another state. Some small town in Oregon where nobody knew about the viral video or the scandal. She was apparently working at a coffee shop and keeping her head down. Meanwhile, the restaurant's business had doubled. People were coming in specifically to see Table 7, to sit where the drama had unfolded, to take pictures at the famous seat. I even had the receipt from that fateful night, framed and hung it on the wall above the table with a small brass plaque that read, Table 7, reserved for authentic guests only. Every time I looked at that frame, I thought about Jessica, about how one lie, one moment of arrogance, had completely destroyed her life, about how she'd tried to dig herself out by digging the hole deeper, about how she'd finally faced consequences for the first time in what I suspected was a long history of getting away with things. Anthony and I had a drink one night at the bar after closing. Think she learned anything? I asked. Anthony swirled his whiskey. Maybe. Or maybe she'll find a way to blame everyone but herself and do the same thing in Oregon. You never told me the full story about what happened at your graduation, I said. Anthony smiled sadly. She cheated on me with my roommate, my lab partner, and some random guy she met at the party. Then she posted pictures with all three of them on Facebook with the caption, "Why settle for one when you can have them all?" I saw it the next morning when I woke up. 200 people liked it. My own mother saw it before I could take it down. Jesus, I said. Yeah, it destroyed me for a while. I dropped out of grad school, moved back home, spent a year figuring out who I was without her. Eventually, I got into the restaurant investment business and did pretty well for myself. When I saw her face on that viral video, I couldn't believe it. She hadn't changed at all. Still entitled, still thinking the rules didn't apply to her. And now? Now she's blocked both of us on every platform she deleted anyway, Anthony said. Make sure to click on the screen to watch other stories. Claude is AI and can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.